below the leaves, beneath your feet, and sometimes even between your toes, there is a network of organisms that influence everything. Sometimes they can help things to decay. Sometimes they can help things to flourish. Sometimes they help decide what wins and what fails. These things are fungi, obviously. So mushrooms are actually just the fruiting body of fungi. And most of what we call fungi are made up of these little filaments called hyphae. Now the hyphae come together to form something called a mycelium, and it's in the mycelium where most of the action happens. So these hyphae can be found everywhere. They can be found in the leaf litter, they can be found going through dead wood, and even into tree roots. But we'll talk more about that later. Let's go take a look at some mushrooms. So mushrooms tend to appear in autumn, although some species appear at other times too. They come in a huge variety of shapes, from bracket fungus to jelly fungus, and to the more typical mushroom-shaped fungus. And they have some really weird and wonderful names as well. You can use these different shapes to identify them, although it may be quite difficult as there's about 15,000 fungi in the UK. Many of these are poisonous, so although you should definitely go out and search them, maybe you shouldn't use them to make a casserole, unless you're with an expert forager, otherwise you may become a little bit delirious. So what do mushrooms do, and where do they come from? So for most of the year, mushrooms aren't to be seen, but they are there, they're just there in a more discreet way, maybe in the soil or in the leaf litter. But when they do appear, they're there essentially to spread its spores, which are sort of like the seeds of the fungi. Some mushrooms produce a whopping 2.7 billion spores a day, often from the gills, or they'll burst out of the top of some species, such as in puffballs and earth stars. So, like I said earlier, most of the fungi is made up of the mycelium, and this is woven through the earth, through the leaf litter, connecting plants and roots and trees, connecting with everything. Now, fungi can be split up into many groups, but one group is called mycorrhizal fungi. And basically, these form partnerships with plants. They're able to cooperate with them and exchange resources. Now, they do this because the plants need micronutrients that the fungi are able to get, and the fungi need sugars that the plants are able to harvest through photosynthesis. So it's thought that up to 90% of plant species form these kind of relationships with fungi. But something that's even more amazing is that it's likely that all of the trees in this wood will be connected by the mycelium, by the fungus network, in something nicknamed the World Wide Web. So this is probably the oldest form of social network, and it occurred roughly at the same time as land plants. Now, this means that trees and plants can, in a way, sort of communicate with each other. So basically, how it works is that when something happens to this tree, it will react, and the mycelium that connects it will react, and in turn, the trees that are also connected to the mycelium will react. So for example, if this tree catches a disease, it will produce an immune response. Then the chemicals that it produces will get transferred to the mycelium will react, and the trees over there that are also connected to the mycelium should produce an immune response as well. So hopefully allowing those trees not to catch the same disease as this poor tree. But what is even more amazing, and I'm getting very excited now, is that there are things called mother trees. And mother trees are basically big old trees that will put more sugars than your average tree into the system so they can benefit their offspring and the little saplings. And when they die, they will release all of their sugars into the wood wide web and hopefully benefit the wood as a whole. Now, I think that there's something amazing in the connectedness of it all and something really beautiful in that. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a like and a share so that more people can see it. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ben of Nature, as well as my Facebook and Instagram, also named Ben of Nature. Thank you for watching this again. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again soon.